Barefoot Bruisers, Sawtooth Dave. This was my new kickstand, and then I had to go and modify it. Yeah, I can't leave nothing alone. Anyway, it's been a good week, very productive week, as far as I'm concerned. Like some weeks, like working in the shop, I feel like I'm just building up to or working through problems, and trying to work towards a certain goal. This week I finally hit like where I thought like I got a lot of stuff done, so pretty happy by that. Last week I showed you Jason's GF2 Bowie. He wanted to ask the Stonewash after that, so if you want to see updated pictures on it, it's on his Instagram, which is, damn, what is his Instagram? Oh, I can't remember, but I was going to tell you what his IG is. I didn't ask him what it was, or if it's cool to mention him. So it's on his Instagram. So if you care, God, what the hell is this Instagram? Anyway, it ain't gonna matter. This one was the kickstand that I kind of sort of thought maybe I would modify first and then ask the Stonewash, and that's exactly what I did. But I did get a little thin. Hopefully you can see that up there. I got a little thin on that hole, but then as far as functionality goes, like, it is exactly what I wanted. So if you missed out on the other ones, what happened before was it's the chisel ground I got from Dan. It was ball grooved on the show side for like a thumb opening, which, for a kickstand for me, the flick is where it's at. I'm not normally a hole through person. When I was sitting there looking at it, I was like, I could do another groove on the backside and just groove it and be okay with it, but it's not going to match this other side. And I was like, man, his GF2s or his kickstand version 2s had that slot all the way through it thing. It's not so much that it's a slot through that I don't like, it's where its placement is. So I wanted it as high as I can get it on the spine so I can actually get back there and flick it. And it worked out great in that regard. So I can flick it, no problem. And it's definitely a much better knife now. The other thing that I thought about when I did this is a thicker blade stock than a normal kickstand. I didn't bring my other kickstand in here. I'm just going to do abouts, okay? So the other one is about 3/16. This one's about a 1/4 inch, give or take. I don't know. I didn't measure them. I don't really care. But I'm using them for abouts. So with the extra weight, the blade is slower, right? It requires more force. It's the same bearing, same pivot, all everything else. So it requires more force to kind of let that weight go out. So with that slot cut in it, it reduced the weight. So it made it faster of a blade. So it's definitely a lot more flicky now. Like, it feels like it's a lot flickier. The best way to describe it, I guess. It just feels flickier. It's faster moving, I guess. Let's put it that way. So, and having done this one, the kickstand blade to handle ratio is always off a lot because, he's got a what do you call it, standoff with hardware right there with pretty much right where the tip would end. So he has got to go back anyhow. And after you kind of rework it, you can see it's back, I don't know, 3/8 of an inch or something. So it's not bad, don't get me wrong, but I got two thoughts on this one. And y'all let me know, one, if you're interested, and two, which direction you think I should push it. One is take the excess out and make a backspacer. So like basically I'd have to internally pin it probably down here somewhere and basically cut back that frame to match the blade length so that the blade to handle ratio would be better. I'd lose a little bit on this end. I'd probably keep it on this end, so this angle would change. It'd probably be more upright, that sort of angle. Hopefully you can see it, that sort of angle approximately, something like that. Or you think I should reblade this and make something completely different, a longer blade to fill all the way out to that tip. Still the same thing, do a backspacer and then kind of groove it similar to what I did, or what I'm going to show you on the Crusader. I think I showed you last week. I can't remember what I do from week to week. So what y'all thoughts? Should I reblade it, or should I do a frame chop, kind of sort of different backspacer kind of thing? I've been wanting to do a backspacer for the kickstand anyhow. I think he's done a couple. I've seen a couple with backspacers in them, but they're not very many. At least I think I have. I know I've got my Recluse, and I think a few other ones that have backspacers. I wish he did more backspacers because I really enjoy his backspacers too. But let me know. I'm thinking about doing that for a possible mod and sell. Like, I'm gonna do everything moving forward. If it doesn't sell, I don't care. I'm gonna keep it. Like, I want to build stuff that I want, and then hopefully somebody else is interested in it and enough to spend the coin on it. But it's still a pretty soft economy right now. So like, I don't know, like when you play around $1,000 knives, how many people are interested in a $1,000 knife? And then with this economy, how many people are still interested and playing around with somebody else's that's not proven, like, i.e., like, I'm not a known maker or anything like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's one of those, it's a gamble for everybody, right? But I'm super happy with this one, and I kind of want to show it in progression because I set this that Inkosi that I've been working on. I set it off to JD. I told y'all I was going to set it off for him to do the inlays. We had talked, you know, before it went over there, and he's like, "What do you want to do?" And I was like, "Yeah, I just want you to do whatever you want to do to it. I want you to judge it. You can see it for how it is." It wasn't 100% done at the time, but it was close enough where he could kind of get an idea of what it was going to. I said, "I just want you to do your thing, have fun with it, and do your and pick whatever you want." So when he get ready to send it back, he's like, "Surprise? You want to see pictures?" I was like, "Man, let's do a surprise." So I decided to go ahead and do an unboxing on it. It's only like, I think it's less than a minute or maybe slightly over a minute or something like that. So I'll pause here and we're gonna go to the unboxing so I can continue the drama. All right, so CRK. I think this is the final rendition. Well, I might still do something else to it, but this is straight back from JD, J Dizzle on Instagram. He asked me if I wanted to know what the inlays he did was. I said, no, I just sent it to me to do a surprise. So I got the box cut, but I haven't opened it yet, so I have no idea what it's going to look like on the inside. So I'm going to try to do this without showing anybody's address or nothing like that. So I think, all right, we got some candies from him. I think it should just be at the bottom of this. Old inlays. All right, let's get the knife. All right, here we go. Y'all ready? Ooh, I'm seeing it already. Looking good. All right, here we go. Red Mercata. That looks dope, don't it? Hope you guys like it too. Hope the light's good. Hope you can see it good. That looks really good and clean. Look at that. Oh, that looks so good. JD killed it, dude. That's awesome looking work. Oh, I freaking love it. I gotta order the tap to finish this clip, and this thing's just about done. Man, this thing looks good. Oh, this thing looks good. I'm so happy with it now. Almost done. That red was a great choice. I don't know that I would even thought about that. That looks awesome. It's like ox blood or something. I dig it. All right, well, hopefully I have some updates throughout the week, and then maybe list this thing up, see who wants to buy it, or if I'm keeping it. I don't know. We'll see, I guess. All right. Thanks, JD. Did an awesome job, bro. So as that video went, like I can honestly tell you, like I knew it was like a dark maroon. I didn't know what the material was. It kind of felt like micarta at first, and then it kind of felt like maybe it could be possibly wood, but I didn't see any wood grain in it. And later on that day, I thought maybe it's G10. And I think I finally asked him this morning. I got it Tuesday. I think I finally asked him today, Saturday. I asked him this morning. I was like, "Hey man, is that G10?" He's like, "Nah, dude, it's Rich Light." I'm like, all right, cool. So JD was so cool in that. So I gotta kind of backtrack a little because I didn't even show it on the unboxing. So I just gotta explain it. I sent that to him on. He got it the Wednesday before 4th of July weekend. I had it back the Tuesday of the following week. So I know he's got workload. I know he's got other people. So he put me in front of somebody else. I mean, granted, we had talked about it, I don't know, a month and a half, 2 months ago. So maybe I was on the list. I don't know. But like he pushed through and got that thing done for me in a couple days and had it sent back to me on Monday. So I guess over the 4th of July weekend, he had extra time and he was like, "Yeah, let's knock it out." Not to go into too much other stuff, but like he hooked me up, big time hooked me up. And then on top of that, he sends a giveaway knife back to me to give away, and candy and everything else. So like, man, huge shout out to JD. You the man, JD. I always admired his work. I'm super stoked to have seen his work and have some in my hand right now. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep talking here, and then I'm gonna do a video and kind of overlay it so I can kind of show you the knife more and tell you in detail. So you're probably not gonna see what I'm talking about right now, but I'm gonna kind of like background noise it and kind of do it. Since I think I got this done on, I think it was a Thursday. I believe I got it on Thursday. I pretty much have been, it's been in my pocket. With the goal now of building stuff that I want, and then hopefully somebody else kind of wanting it thing. When I got it back from JD, I looked at the grind on the knife and I was like, you know, it's just too plain. It needs something else. And I'm always a stickler for a little bit stouter tip so I can stick it in and pry some stuff and be a heathen with it. and I also like a little bit slicier on the way back. Even on the smaller size, like these full-size CRKs are like pretty much the smallest thing I'll carry. I ain't gonna say it's the smallest because I have carried smaller, but in recent years, not really. Like it's pretty much the smallest thing I have carried in quite some time. So I went ahead and reground it. Not reground it, I guess, because it was never really 100% ground before, but I redid it with a 10-inch wheel in the back, raise it up some more, and it's good and thin. If you can't tell from the secondary bevel, like when you see the sharpening edge kind of thing, how thin it gets back down there. It's good and thin in that 10-inch section. And then I kind of just chased, so the front nose was an 8-inch hollow wheel, and I just kind of chased it again. I kind of liked what was already there. I just wanted to keep it on just the tip. And then I went ahead on the swedges and just kind of redid the swedges a little bit. Now it's not 100% even, but we're talking about hand ground, and you know I've not been ground for so many years that I can say I can do this like on every single knife. Like if someone asked me to do this on this knife, I'd be like, I can try. Like I ain't gonna guarantee I can get it. So pretty happy with how the grinds came out on that one. The feel in the hand was good at that point. Like it lightened the blade a little bit and kind of made it, like before it was a little bit heavy, and it kind of also made a little more access to the chameleon eye. Like on the bottom side of the chameleon eye is a little easier to slide into because some of that material is removed in the bottom there. So your thumb slides into it easier for opening. Like everything was coming together. It's feeling good. The rich light that JD did on it, like it's proud, so it gave a little more girth on that. It's like the oxblood color, if you remember old Docs. Well, I guess they probably still make them. I don't know. I haven't been in the Doc Martens in years, but I'm pretty sure like this is pretty close to that oxblood style color Docs that used to be out. But it feels the hand much better. And then I decided to go with that Northwest deep carry milled clip because it adds even more girth. And if you remember, I told you that something was screwed up with the threads on it. The more I got to looking at it, I was like, man, the body screw is pretty close to the same thing. It's just a little bit bigger hole size. So like it's a 632 instead of a 5. I think it was a 532 or 540, or it was some. It was. I think it was a 532. So it was like an obscure size. Like make 540s and 544s, something like that. 5s is weird. Now number 5 screw is something I don't ever use. So I'm pretty unfamiliar with most of number 5 screws. But it seemed to be an odd size from what I could tell. I had 632 tap here, so it didn't, not a whole lot of brain work to take it to, drill a hole back out and tap it a little bigger and then make it work for this. I had to shorten the screw a little bit, but it's actually that matches the body screw, so it's the same, you can't see it up in there, I don't think, but it's the same hardware as what a body screw is. I just had extra hardware here. I think been a while back, but I had extra hardware for from another project somewhere in the past, and I don't even remember what it is. So all said and done. The knife now, the only one negative it has is when it's tightened all the way down, it kind of sort of favors, well, it definitely favors the lock side. It's kind of not a bad thing for me because I tend to flick a lot, the finger flick, and if it's going to favor one side, I kind of like it favoring the lock side so that when I push it, finger flicking it wise, even if it loosens up, it's loosening it up to the good side, not to the bad side where it rubs. So for me, that's perfect. Like 9 times out of 10, maybe even more than that, but it's the finger flick for me that I go to when I pick up a knife. But overall feel, for me, I'm into more bruisers, so like when the smaller knives come, I like CRKs. I can definitely get into my zone of CRKs, and I've done so many in the past. I've owned quite a few that like I could definitely go down that path of CRK, but this definitely feels different. It feels like a bruiser. So now I get to the point where I get it done, super happy with it. Like I legitimately haven't quit carrying it or playing with it in the car and everything like that. Like I'm super happy with this knife, and I've got quite honestly quite a bit of money in it too. So now I look at it going like, okay, now here's the true test, because at this point I have to sell this thing for pretty much double the price of what you could buy a brand new CRK for in order to kind of sort of really break even. And do I want to sell this, or do I want to keep this? So like I'm going to put it like this: if someone's willing to pay basically double what a new CRK Inkosi costs, I'll sell it. If not, then I'm gonna keep it, and I'm just gonna leave it like that. So if you're interested, let me know. If you're not, and I don't expect really anybody to be, I'm totally fine with keeping it. It's probably not worth what I'm going to be asking for it. But honestly, I'm probably never going to do another CRK. So Billy's got his, Inkosi, and Denise has that Unumzon that I did with those K390 blades. This is one in 3V, and this one is a 200 thou thick blade. So it's the nice, thick, chunky boy for a CRK. So this is 100% right up my alley. Like I said, like I'm gonna put it out there. No pressure from nobody. If nobody wants it, it ain't gonna hurt my feelings none to keep it. Matter of fact, I'm kind of leaning towards I hope nobody does, because I kind of do want to keep it. Let's see where we're at. Okay. The next one is the Crusader. I had started it. I think I had the back spacer in. Yeah, I had the back spacer in last week. I modified it just a little bit. Same with the blade profile, but I did get it ground and acid stone washed. And here's the package right here. So let me know what y'all think about that. I think that looks sick as fuck. Like I'm super glad now that what I'm envisioning, I'm able to kind of sort of put it in, on the knife and make it, because like it's like guitar. Like you can hear something in your head, but you can't figure out how to put it on the guitar or music or what, art, whatever. Like I'm finally able to do it. So like that pretty much came out exactly how I wanted to. Now I do gotta take this edge back just a little bit. It's just like right here, one little section is touching the back spacer. So either gotta relieve that back spacer more, which I probably will do a little bit of that too, and then also just by sharpening it probably one more time, just bring the edge back just a skosh. It'll be all right. Problem with this one is, like, when I started this project, and so this one's not 100% done, although it probably could be. I'm not 100% satisfied, but I'll tell you why here in a second, okay? Let me just go over this one too. I want to kind of sort of, hopefully, as I'm rambling here, I will take video and then overlay like the videos to show you more about the knife, so you don't have to look at my ugly mug and necessarily see or not see my wonderful videography skills. So I'm assuming it's probably because of the Cerakote that's on the actual lock side of this frame. It still developed lock stick pretty bad, and I'm grinding these almost all the lock faces I'm grinding are at that 7.5, which is pretty much golden standard for what almost everybody says to do. Is I think it's between 5 and 10. And almost all the main influences for me, at least, all said 7.5. I just watched a Tony Siervo video not long ago, and that's exactly what he does. He's like, I could try 7, I could try 8, I like 7.5. So like I try to shoot for 7.5 every single time. I haven't really even played with that angle that much, but it's worked on everything else. Like occasionally I'll get a lock stick or something like that. Now you get into like carbidizing. Should you carbidize? Should you not carbidize? That's a whole nother field about that. And then there's a whole thing about taking like the heat, and then you basically heat it up cherry red and let it cool down. It creates like an oxide surface or whatever. And there's a whole theory about those as well. And I've tried that. That's kind of worked for me in the past. So I may try that, but I honestly think there's Cerakote in the lock face of the lock bar itself, and I think just removing it will probably help me in the process. Probably where I'm going to start next to doing that. Problem is I don't want to remove this Cerakote on everything. I want it to still look like a Crusader Forge. If you just look at this knife, like granted, you probably see things that don't look Crusader to you. I do when I look at this, but like as a whole, it's still recognizable as a Crusader for me. The action's decent, but kind of sort of like that Chris Reeve. When I started this one, I had already told you the titanium was kind of sort of warped. Well, it wasn't kind of sort of. It is warped. It's bent, and I could try to bend it back. So this requires it to you have to tighten it and then back it off a little bit, which is fine because this has the washers in it, not bearings. What they called? I keep forgetting what these things are called. I was going to ask you guys about it. Oh my God, what am I doing? It's at night. Sorry guys. Like I'm usually a better speaking and thinking in the morning. Nylotron. There we go. God, I had to work for that one. So these are the Nylotron washers. So if you guys know better, please let me know. I had heard someone say you're not supposed to run Nylotron with any kind of lubricant. It's supposed to be run dry. I don't know. So y'all tell me. I'm not even 100% sure it's Nylotron. It's just that black kind of fibery looking stuff that's kind of almost like, I don't know, it looks like the stuff that comes in Emerson's to me. So if that makes any sense to you guys that got Emerson's, pretty sure there's Nylotron too. It looks very similar to that. And I've heard they last forever. The Nylotron washers will last forever, but I don't know, like they seem good to me. It's just like it seems weird to not run lubricant. It's got lubricant on it right now. I did it just to kind of sort of break it in and make sure everything worked fine. It seems to work fine. So back to the blade and on the grind on the blade there. Not 100% even on the grind, especially if going in the transition right here. One kind of is more circular, one's kind of a little more straight. But overall, I fake it till I make it kind of thing, and I think that's pretty good, faking it to making it. I'm happy with this one. Angles are very close, so it's just slightly off from side to side, but I'm very happy with that. I didn't end up putting a ball groove or anything in it because I can actually flick it how it is when it's tuned the way it is. So right now it kind of sticks a little bit. The problem I'm finding, honestly, with the knife is not really ergonomically wise. It's not the blade itself. It's unlocking it. There's a sharp corner here and a sharp corner here. So essentially, if I kind of elongate this forward, elongate it back a little more, it'll probably be better for me to get. I want both my fingers in there, and apparently this is more for like just the thumb, which I don't know, the Crusader Forge. Yeah, I guess you can do it with your thumb. I'm just not. I don't unlock knives with my thumb. I'll unlock with my fingers. Always have. Like, or pretty much. I won't say always, but for years and years and years, probably a decade at this point, I'll do the finger unhook kind of thing. But the hole in that one also has that chamfer in it. I don't know if I showed you before on video or not. So hopefully you can see that. I guess I should check it out so I'll show you. There's that kind of like chamfer around it with that little flat in the middle. Hopefully you'll be able to see that all right. So it has a different look to it, which I kind of like. And like I said, everything on the back spacer shifted up. Just a one little spot hit. It did shorten it up a little bit. I don't know if you can see that in there. It's a little bit shorter than what it was. But before it was like right at the edge. And there's really like, I either had to groove it much deeper or kind of sort of grind the edge back, which is fine with me because I wanted this to be a little more stout. I would tell you what I did. I think I flat ground the tip, and I think the back's 10 inch. But it's been a few days now. I can't remember, and it's also nighttime. I don't think it's good. So I'm pretty sure that's what I did on that one. Pretty happy with that. Here's where I'm at on this one. So I'm gonna kind of do the same thing like a CRK, but maybe a little bit of a twist. This is for sale. I will sell it. Like if you want to change something minor, like I was saying, like the G10 like swirled out or whatever else, but I'm thinking if I'm keeping it, I'm gonna make this full tie. So I'm offering it now, but if you were like, I like it, but I would rather have it full tie, and then you can kind of sort of choose finishes and that sort of thing, you let me know. Now Rick did ask about it last week, but I know Rick also bought some stuff from Steve, so I'm not sure if he's going to be in the market for more stuff or not. Oh, you can front flip this one too. I forgot to say it. So it kind of looks a little funky up there, that side, but you can kind of put your thumb on it, front flip it, if that's your thing. Most bruisers don't front flip, but when I had Bearded Doom's Soulstone, that taught me how to do that stuff. And if you haven't seen Brother Mitch's review of his little Mitch hands, go to Mitch Bowling's channel and check out Mitch's video because I got a kick out of that one. Supposedly he's got a parody of me coming in pretty soon. He said he's going to do a video of that, so I'm looking forward to seeing that too. We'll see. He did run it past me before he did it. He's like, "Hey, you're gonna get mad, right? It's all good fun." I was like, "Hell yeah, dude! I'm definitely good with that." But anyhow, so that's what I'll throw that out for the Crusader. Crusader will be for sale if it's something you're interested in. I think moving forward from this point forth, I'll probably, if I sell stuff, it probably, especially that I own everything that I put for sale right here. So like, it's not like it's someone else's I'm trying to sell or a Re-blade I'm trying to sell. I think every bit I'm selling from here, I'm going to put into equipment because I can see where I can improve my quality by having a few other pieces of equipment. A surface grinder would be nice. I have a surface grinder attachment that goes on my grinder, but I've never got it to like even be halfway good. It's always been a turd. So maybe I just need to spend some time with it and try to get it better, or maybe I just need to get what I want to get, which is just a surface grinder. I did the same thing with the mill, bought a cheap mill because it was cheaper, and then I knew I wanted a Bridgeport, and then eventually I got a Bridgeport anyhow. So now I got two mills out there. One I'll never really use, and the other one I'm always on. So maybe I should do the same thing with the surface grinder and just buy a good surface grinder and be done with it. So hopefully I'll be able to get that piece of equipment in here. I'd also like to get a hardness tester because I don't know what these blades, all the ones I'm talking about are all 3V. I did something else on 3V. What else was it? Man, I did something else on 3V. I know I did 3 knives. I can't even remember. Oh, Carco's Wrath from last week. All 3 of those blades I heat treated to the best of my ability, but I have zero clue what the heat treat is. I didn't get it tested. Like, in order for me to test it at the old machine shop, it's probably going to take basically a half a day out of work, like out of doing stuff here. Like, I got to drive over there. Of course, I'm going to BS with the guys, shoot the shit, whatever else, and then test it and then come back. And it's about an hour over there, about an hour back with traffic and everything. So, you know, time you get done BSing for an hour or so, like 3-4 hours is pretty easy to do. Anyhow, if I had a hardness tester here, I could test it in between processes, which I think, I'm not sure that all the guys do that, but it seems like the guys who want that, you know, top tier heat treat, they're heat treating their knives and they're testing them in the process to see where everything's at, so they can adjust it to get it how they want it. So they might say, using a set formula like me, I'm just doing 20 minutes at this temperature, take it out, quench it, stick it in here for an hour, stick it in the, in the dewar for an hour, come out of the dewar, let it sit for 5 to 10 minutes till it warms up, stick it in the temper oven till X amount, for X amount of time, and then pull it out. Like, I'm just following formulas, but I'm not testing it in the middle. So I think getting a tester will probably help me, like, have an idea what the steel is doing when it's doing it. So if I have an issue, let's say the oven's not getting as hot, so it's, when it's coming out of the oven and quenching it, it's not a higher RC or as high RC as I think it should be. It gives me a chance to fine tune that. Hopefully you guys understand that. So I'm kind of looking around for like other projects. So that I already talked about the the Kickstand project, and possibly doing a re-blade on that, or possibly doing a frame chop on that, to kind of give me something else to kind of move if someone's interested in that. The other thing I thought about is the direct. So I went ahead like this week too, and I put that little slot in my Deman that I got from Dario this year at Blade Show. The pin unfortunately didn't make it, so I had to make it another pin, which is no big deal. It's just not quite as blingy as the ones he has. So I probably will do something different to kind of sort of match it out. Now, whether I blast it all or keep it all, I don't know. But this is the Deman for me. Like, this Deman works perfect for me. I got thumb stud, which works great, and I got that slot, which y'all know I'm more of a finger flicker than anything else. Like, it's funny how it turned into that way, because I used to, I won't say I never liked it. I always liked it, but like, I like the multiple. Now it's pretty much almost all finger flick. And then the other direct I got is the 3V Toucan 2XL, and I did the same thing with it, except for this time he already had, like, the rest of it's blasted, but he already had these studs in this one that was kind of high polished, whatever else. And so when I cut that groove in there, I looked at it, I was originally planning on acid stone washing it when I was doing those other ones, and I looked at it and I was like, you know what, it kind of looks good, like that one little thing kind of popping out there. So I'm gonna leave it like this. This one being 3V, I know I can get it good and dark, like I showed you that Crusader, like that darkness, that's 3V. It's pretty easy to get 3V that dark, for me at least, anyhow. But the other Deman I showed you that I did the acid stonewash this is RWL 34. So comparatively, I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but this basically has this exact same process, and you can see how much darker 3V is than the RWL 34. So different steels acid stonewash differently, in case you didn't know that. But I did the same process on both of them. I blasted it, or aluminum oxide blasted it, and then I acid stonewashed them, both the same amount of time and everything. So it does make a difference. It does make a difference what kind of steel it is. So anyhow, it's probably gonna be a 30-minute video before it goes over, but who cares? This Deman I had was, he calls it a Tanto, and it's got the holes and stuff in it, and it's got the funkier clip. A little bit different than the other one has. So I thought about possibly reblading this one, or I could fix, someone had already, when I got it back, I want to say CRK, but I could be wrong, did a flipper delete on this one. I could clean that up a little bit and it could be good to go as is, or I could reblade this thing and try to do something a little bit creative with it and maybe move it on from there. Y'all let me know what you think, man. Like, I don't want to overdo the reblades to a point where I'm like taking away from what I want to do in the future with the old building my own stuff and that sort of thing. Like, I think like regrinds, I did that a little bit too long. I probably will open that up just for money's sake in a few months, or probably a couple months at this point. But I don't want to get bogged down in it. And I think same thing with reblades. Like, I've had a couple people kind of sort of hint around about doing reblades. So I'll put it this way: if you get a bruiser, and I prefer this to be more of a custom thing, than a production knife that you want to make a custom blade for. But I'm a little open for production bruisers to a certain degree, but I'm looking to do reblades for bruisers. So I guess I'm gonna open it up for that. Like if you got a reblade bruiser and you want it done, like I'm gonna have to have a little bit of creative freedom here, because if you say I want this exact grind on this exact kind of, I may or may not be able to do this. But if you're interested in something like that, let me know. Let's see. Let's just talk about it and see if we can't figure it out. So I can generate a little bit of funds here, get things moving, maybe get a couple more pieces of equipment in the shop moving forward to hopefully improve the process a little bit more. As I'm doing all these reblades and stuff, like and even frame mods, like I got to make a clip for a guy this week, which I don't normally do that kind of stuff, but like certain people, certain knives, like I'm into the stuff that you can't buy. So I'll show you guys next week whatever I come up with. But if it's something that can't be bought, that's not easily modified, that like the average, your average modder, you can't just send to and get it done. That's the kind of stuff I'm more interested in. So I may do some work like that for, excuse me, various people. Call them either friends or contacts or just people I know from the community. But I don't think I'm going to do general work for public mod work kind of thing. Like it's not something I want to get back into. I need to do stuff that's going to make money and you know, possibly improve my skills, not stuff to reinforce what I already kind of know. I hope that makes sense. Like I'm not trying to be douchey about it or nothing like that. I'm just trying to, like, if it helps you and me at the same time and I can make a little coin on it, that's kind of sort of where I'm at. I don't need it right now, but I will in the future. Fairly soon here, as soon as the wife starts school, it's going to be a whole different ball game around here. I think I've rambled enough. Hopefully I'm going to take some videos. Hopefully y'all be able to see these knives kind of more up close and personal. I kind of did it where I'm just kind of talking to the camera anyhow, so even if it don't have a whole lot of video, I'm going to try to take some video. And yeah, we'll call it from there. Kind of like moving forward, I'm not really sure what direction I'm kind of moving in, other than possible reblades. But y'all let me know, please let me know. Kickstand, chop frame, reblade. And on the Holy Deman, we'll call this one the Holy Deman, reblade or just fix the flipper and try to move it. Kind of curious about what you guys think. All right. And if you're interested in either one of those, Crusader or CRK, let me know. Neither one are going to be cheap. At this point, like, I'd rather keep them than sell them for cheap. That's just pretty much what it is. So, all right. I guess we're going to call it there. Hopefully y'all enjoyed the video. I know energy ain't as high in the evenings when I do the videos, but you know you got stuff to do in the morning. Like I don't want to, like, sometimes it jams up on my workout and that sort of thing. So you know, just trying to prepare ahead of time. Maybe I was thinking about going back and doing some like clips during the week and then smashing them all together towards the weekend. Maybe I'll try that. I know a lot of the how-to stuff that I used to do, like not just a how-to, but my thoughts, my process kind of thing. I want to do more of that, but like I get bogged down in that sometimes, and like sometimes it's just one of those things I just got to do it, and then you know I should record it, but I don't set up camera, don't stop to think about it. I just hammer through. All right, we got a good long one this weekend. All right, hopefully y'all enjoyed the ramblings, and we'll call it from there. Y'all be cool. Later.